What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about zooms and primes and why you need either. Primes and zooms, what's really the difference? Why do you care? Not too long ago when I was hanging out with my friend Burke, I was shooting on a zoom and he was shooting on a prime. And it kind of brought up the case of, is one better than the other? Let's break it down like this. If you're shooting with a prime, what are the pros and cons? Pro number one is they are definitely fast glass. The aperture are normally big on primed. They can let in way more light. They work way better at nighttime because all that light can get into the aperture because the glass is so fast. The downside of the prime is you're stuck with one focal length. So if you need to zoom, you're kind of screwed. You need to change the lens. It's not very easy to do on the go. Therefore, zoom lenses, it's nice because you can just boop, real quick, you've already got your focal length set and you're ready to go. The downside to most zooms is that the apertures are not that fast, or they're variable aperture. Realistically though, there are fast zoom lenses. Like I'm shooting with the Sigma 18-35, and I think the reason this lens is so good, being over 5 years, why it's selling so well, is because it's got a 1.8 aperture all the way through. Like a lot of the kit lenses we get, those apertures change. It's not very good. It's a starter lens. It may not be that bad of an aperture when it's zooming in, but it's still not giving you a consistent light all the way through. What brought this to my attention is when me and Burke were shooting and I sat down and looked at his footage and looked at mine. We're shooting the exact same thing, but one of them's looking just a little bit different. One of them looks more cinematic and consistent throughout the whole thing, and I couldn't quite place my finger on it. I realized at that moment that he is shooting on a prime for all of his cinematic stuff. He's shooting on one focal length for all of that. Why do you shoot primes?
I like shooting prime lenses because typically they're faster, which in turn makes them sharper. Another big thing for me is that when I'm shooting a vlog, I only like to use two focal lengths. 16mm for vlogging, and you can go wider, you can go tighter if you want, but that's the focal length I prefer. And then a 30mm for like a cinematic sequence. And the reason that I only shoot cinematic sequences at one focal length is because I feel like everything just looks a lot more consistent. The compression looks consistent, just how everything is presented is a lot more consistent. Another huge thing is that shooting at one focal length on a prime lens or just one focal length on a zoom lens is going to challenge you because you can't just zoom in and out. You're gonna have to walk around and find that shot, really compose that shot. So that's one of the things that I really like about a prime lens, is that it challenges me to find that shot rather than almost kind of cheating and zooming in and out.
So you can see in certain cases, zooms versus primes, one is gonna win over the other. It really depends on what you need. I've gotten so used to having a zoom lens that I was just zooming in and out. I know you're thinking it's got the same aperture, so it should look the same, but it doesn't. The compression's different. When you zoom in on something, that compression's closing in more. So when I'm just zooming in and zooming out to have different shots and not really walking and keeping it one consistent focal length, it's going to look different. Yes, the Sigma is a great lens and it's very helpful to have a zoom to where I can just boop, boop, real fast and be done. But I challenge you guys to use your zoom lens just like it was a prime lens. It really helps if you got a fast lens that's all the way through, so you can set one focal length. So if you're setting up a cinematic sequence, you set one focal length. Maybe you want it to be 35, maybe you want it to be 24, maybe you want it to be 18, whatever you want it to be. I challenge you to use that focal length through the whole cinematic sequence. Having that compression consistently through your image looks so good. Even if you got a kit lens that changes the aperture when you zoom in and out, find one focal length that you really like for the cinematic sequences and stay with it. That's it for me today, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Drop a comment below if it helps you out. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already with the bell notification on so you get notified when I bring out new awesome videos every week. I will see you guys in the next video. I'm the Iron Giant. I'm out.